Hey KU fans, welcome back to KU Sports Extra here at the BOK Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma, site of KU's 100-point night. 100!
The century mark, thanks to Tyler Self, just draining an NBA range three-pointer late in the game.
Rhythm.
Yeah. And in such a high-pressure situation, too.
I told him it looked good as soon as he went up, and it really did. Yeah, I mean, I'm not kidding at all about that. It was in rhythm. He was confident. A lot of times you don't see that.
Yeah, stepped into it, buried it.
Very cool. I didn't have any idea they had 97 because this game was over 20 minutes in and I was working on my stories. Next thing I know, he hits a big shot, the bench goes wild, and they've got 100 points. 100-62 winners over UC Davis. Pretty much what everybody expected, but I got to be honest with you. It's been a long time since you've seen Kansas, even as a 1 seed, even as a 2 seed, just put it on somebody like this in the tournament. They get tight, teams hang around, even other 16 teams, 16 seeds have been able to kind of make it more of a grind than this one was. And it was for about 10 minutes, 8 minutes, but then KU just opened up and out-athleted them, and it was cool to see that. It's been a long time. You see that in a lot of other 1-16 matchups, but it's been a while for Kansas.
Yeah, I actually was asking Landon Lucas about kind of the layoff the day before the game and how he thought they would handle it. And because he's basically a future coach and borderline basketball genius, he was like, well, I bet we'll be pretty rusty early in the game, but we'll feel rested later in the game, and we'll just look like our old selves. And I mean, that's basically exactly what happened. Early on they were missing shots, settling for jumpers, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then they kind of reminded themselves when it was tied at 21, oh yeah, if we just use our
Josh Jackson,
use that Josh Jackson guy, use Frank Mason, and just get the ball into the paint, we're going to get layups, which are way easier shots.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep scoring, and before you knew it, the game was out of hand.
Yeah, it was, and then they knocked down some threes too.
Yeah,
I mean, they missed their first 4, but then they finished 11 for 25 for the game. And, they shot 56% from the field, 44% from three-point range, and 85% from the line. I mean, this is that one game that the KU fans have been dying for. They put somebody away. They had that killer instinct. They shot well from the outside. They hit their free throws. Josh Jackson was amazing. I mean, it was a great way to start a tournament run. They got 5 left. At least that's what they hope.
Right.
But didn't have to tax themselves at all.
That's huge when you have a game that you know is going to be taxing on Sunday. It turns out they're going to play Michigan State. I mean, when you think about Tom Izzo teams, you think about physical play. I mean, you think about just grind it out type of games, that like classic Big Ten basketball.
Sure.
And I mean, so it could be that. It could be a low-scoring game. We could go from a game where they're at 100 to a game like in the 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
You never know.
I would think KU would want to push the pace.
Yeah, for sure.
They're going to want to run. I thought Michigan State ran a little bit. What was their final? 78-58, something like that. They ran a little bit, and I think that'll bode well for Kansas because you can see that that's a Michigan State team that could get caught up in that style.
Sure.
There's no way they're going to want to make that their game plan. I wouldn't imagine. We'll find out more tomorrow. But if KU can lure them into up and down track meet type of game, I think that's advantage Kansas.
When you have Frank Mason and Josh Jackson and Devontae Graham, and you're playing 4 guards, and they love running, I mean, that's exactly what they want to do. Michigan State will try to take them out of that, I'm sure.
Right. Your basketball genius had another good night.
Landon Lucas, Mr.
13
Double-Double.
11, something like that. I mean, he was really solid. That little jump hook looked really good all night. He missed one that should have fallen, but he got some rest too. I just think it was such a great performance. Svi hit a bunch of shots. He was 5 for 10.
Yeah, all 5 starters in double figures. I mean, basically the night went just as Bill Self would have scripted it.
Probably not, if you ask him.
Oh.
I'm sure he was miserable for at least 10 minutes of that game. That's all we got here tonight. KU, a 100-62 winner over UC Davis. We'll be back tomorrow right in this building to talk about KU Michigan State a lot more, interview both teams, get as much info as we can, and then head into Sunday. A 4:15 tip-off right here on this floor where Benton A. Smith is standing. There it is. Thanks for checking out KU Sports Extra. We'll talk to you guys real soon.